Crafting gear with sparks of ingenuity. What items should I make? Should I hold on to them or spend them? I've had these questions pop up a few times in my Twitch chat the few times that I streamed this last week, and it's also accompanied with questions in my Discord. So I wanted to take a quick second to talk about what I've done personally, my viewpoint on the matter, and then post this on the internet, so enjoy. The new crafting can be quite overwhelming at a first glance, and it definitely takes some time to pick apart and understand. I'm not going to dive into professions in this video though, but what Blizzard did a really good job on is making professions interesting again. And they made making gear and items not tied to being that said profession. What I mean by that is that you don't need to actually do professions in order to use the items, and on top of that, you can have these items commissioned for crafting. That means that you can provide items to a crafter who can make you extremely powerful items for you to use. In previous expansions, normally crafted gear would get quickly replaced, rendering it basically useless to any serious player. This time around though, that's not the case. There are some items that you can actually get from questing, mythic dungeons, and raid that allow you or a crafter to create a competitive item. What's also interesting about this mechanic is that you can also upgrade these items, meaning that you can craft something now of value and then work on improving it over the upcoming weeks to really create something that's truly best in slot. Though I should mention this is based on the type of content you do. So, how do we do that? How do we commission a powerful item? If you're in Valdrakken, you can actually head over to the Artisan's Market and talk to the clerks who are in charge of the work orders. Here you can actually browse the plethora of different available items from all the professions. I'm on my Paladin, so let's take a look at the plate gear. You can see a full list of items that are available. You'll also notice that some of these have equip effects, also known as embellishments, and others have no effects. As a side note, you can only ever wear 2 embellished items, but you can wear as many crafted items as you would like. As long as they aren't embellished, which is 2 items you can wear. That's 2. That's like the second number. It's right after 1, before 3. Awesome. That honestly was painful for us both. It's not just plate gear though, but it can also be weapons as well as other miscellaneous items like jewelry or cloaks. There are a lot of options, and this early we are going to be extremely limited on the resources that we have due to time gating of these sparks of ingenuity. Now that's what led me to making this video though. First off, how do you get this item? Well, if you haven't done this yet, you'll notice a campaign style quest type thing indicator on your minimap. This is located in Valdrakken and it's called Jumpstart, Jump Starting. This won't take you very long to complete. You'll ride a helicopter, shoot this council, fly to Azure Span, fall through some rings, then fly back to Valdrakken. Once you do this, you will now have yourself a spark of ingenuity, and now, for the second point of this video, what items should you make? Well, most of you are going to probably hate this answer, but whatever you want. I know that wasn't helpful, so let me tell you what I did. I crafted either a ring or a necklace, depending on the character. And I did this because rings and necklaces don't have main stat, and they are guaranteed to come with a socket, meaning that these items have a very high value, especially now that there are main stat gems. Not to mention that you can also pick the stats that come with it. While most gear is only able to be maxed out currently at 392 if it's the highest quality, the value of the neck is probably closer to like 402 to the 407 item level range due to the socket and the type of gem you can place in it. Even if I begin farming keys next week and get a juicy neck to drop, unless it has perfect stats and a socket in it, I probably won't be replacing this necklace anytime soon. Now, as we progress through the season, you'll also come across an item called Concentrated Primal Focus. These are going to come from raid bosses and high-end Mythic Plus. I think it's speculated at 15s or higher. And 10 of these bad boys paired with 150 Primal Chaos, which is a reagent you should already be familiar with, should allow you to upgrade your necklace or any other item that you decide to craft to the possible item level of 418. This is obviously dependent on the crafter and the resources used. At this point, I also want to casually note that with the new profession system, the quality of the item, meaning the item level, is heavily determined by the quality of the ingredients you are using, so go big or go home. Alright, I get asked this question a lot, but are there other valuable items worth crafting this early? Honestly, no. Like I mentioned, jewelry typically has a much higher value since there are no primary stats, and in this case you get to choose your secondary stats. I do want to mention a few notable items. So I'm going to be speaking this from the general tank perspective since after all I'm a tank player. So for plate tanks, if you aren't crafting jewelry, there are actually pants called Frostfire Legguards of Preparation, which can be pretty dope in Mythic Plus. So the equip effect is damaging a new enemy is going to grant you a small bit of haste for a few seconds, stacking up to 5 times. Keep in mind that this is going to compete with tier slots though, hence why I'm recommend holding off until you at least have all 5 of your tier items, so you have a flexible gear profile. Notably, there's also the difficult wrist protectors. While these items aren't super great at face value, it does provide you with a tinker socket. This expansion, you no longer need to be an engineer and have the item to battle res, but you will need the Arclight Vital Correctors. This is a socket item that you're going to put in these bracers. These can be great for Protection Warriors specifically, which is the only plate tank that doesn't have a battle res in their kit. For leather tanks, it's a slightly different story. Similar to the plate battle res, you can actually pick up the needlessly complex wrist guards in order to grab that same brez. This could be good for Brewmasters or Vengeance Demon Hunter since you guys don't have a brez in your kit. The only other item that truly stands out is the Allied Heartwarming Fur Coat, which has an effect that will grant nearby allies about 200 versatility, which is a very small damage boost and damage reduction gain. It has great stats for Guardian Druids and Vengeance Demon Hunters. Brewmasters will probably stay away from this though. And then one last secret tech tip that I have for bear players out there. Peep that flaring cowl. Yeah, it doesn't seem like much, but wait for it. If you happen to somehow snag the ring from the first boss of the raid, these 2 items can result in a pretty sizable DPS gain, since the helm will actually proc the ring effect. It's also uncapped in AoE, so yeah, keep this on the back burner. These items that I've just previously mentioned are the main reason why I'm actually waiting to craft actual gear and focusing more on jewelry. You never know what type of RNG you're going to get from raid, from your vault, or from your Mythic Plus runs. And that's why you're going to hear a lot of like, hold on to your sparks. At the end of the day, it won't really matter that much, and jewelry has a pretty high value anyways that I think it's worth if you're looking for a slightly better optimized item or a small item level boost currently. Overall, I really do like the system, but I wish Blizzard did a better job at properly explaining everything in some regard. I know there's a lot of players who don't fully understand that the quality of the items will heavily persuade the quality of the crafted piece. I'm glad crafting is relevant again, and more importantly that there is some form of bad luck protection. If you don't get your BIS item from Raid or from Mythic Plus, you can probably make a fairly similar alternative from crafters. Anyways, I hope that kinda helped clears the air. If you do have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Massive shout out to Pan, Ari, and John, alongside all of my other Patreon supporters, because without them, there really wouldn't be videos like this, so thank you guys. Hope you're all staying happy, healthy, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.